So, you want to start speedrunning. Destiny 2 is a wonderful speedrunning game. The only downside is that it can be difficult to get started since there are a lot of important items that are needed. In this video, I will try to break down most assets of speedrunning in Destiny 2. Keep in mind that Destiny 2 is a live game and that everything I say in this video has the possibility to be changed in the future. When you start playing Destiny 2, you will choose one out of 3 classes to play. If you want to play the game because of its speedrunning, I would suggest choosing a Warlock. Hunters and Titans are also used in speedruns, but not as much as a Warlock. For solo speedruns, you almost always want to be using a Warlock. Other classes are viable for their certain abilities in multiplayer speedruns, but in this video we will focus on the Warlock class. Once you've made your character, you will get to play the introduction mission called New Light. This mission introduces you to the basic controls of the game. Once you complete the full campaign, you will have access to missions, strikes, and everything else that are considered as speedrun material. Let's start with the basics. Burst Glide is the most efficient glide for Warlocks, since it gives you that extra bit of speed when using it. It's faster to jump and activate Burst Glide over and over again than it is to just run. There's a simple speed tech in the game called Ghost Skip. When scanning something with your ghost, you can double tap the tab key to cancel the animation of putting your ghost out. While this doesn't save a huge amount of time, it's very easy to perform. Although there are a few exceptions where it doesn't work. There's a certain weapon type in the game called Lightweight Frame. These weapons are more mobile. Holding a weapon of this type will slightly increase your movement speed. A lightweight frame weapon paired with Transversal Steps is as fast as the movement speed of Mida Multi-Tool. It is recommended to always have at least one lightweight frame weapon equipped if possible. There are some buffs in the game that affects walking speed. Assassin's Blade, Tractor Cannon, and the Solar Titan's Tempered Metal will increase the default walking speed. This is great to use for situations where you are unable to sprint. Using the world's geometry to your advantage is a great feature in this game. Jumping on slanted areas can provide a great speed boost. Combine this with Icarus dashes and you can reach great speeds. While having great momentum, you can quickly jump when touching the ground to keep most of it. This is commonly referred to as bunny hopping and is popular in many other games. It is not as effective in Destiny 2, but it's definitely something you should use. To properly carry momentum with Icarus Dash, you have to activate Burst Glide just before using the dash. If you don't do this, you will lose all the momentum you previously had and just perform a regular dash. When using Dawnblade, it can sometimes be better to not activate Burst Glide before Icarus dashing, depending on the situation. If you want to cross a big gap, for an example, I would recommend not activating Burst Glide before dashing. But if you're landing on the ground in between every dash, it can be smarter to activate Glide before the dash. This is something you need to practice to learn what option fits for what situation. There is a newly discovered tech that I like to refer to as fake skating. Fake skating is kind of a budget version of the sword skating that we had before patch 2.8.0. To perform a fake skate, you simply swing a sword, swap weapon, and activate Burst Glide. This can be combined with Icarus Dash and is a great way of gaining speed. A few patches ago, Bungie decided to nerf the speed you could acquire by bunny hopping with Dawnblade. Using Burst Glide to bunny hop with Dawnblade now will be extremely slow. But for some reason, they decided to keep the speed for Strafe Glide. A sparrow is a kind of vehicle that you can use in-game for faster travel around the map. Sparrows can only be summoned in certain areas of the world. Because of this, sparrows are not always used in speedruns. If you ride your sparrow into an area where you can't summon your sparrow, you will still have your sparrow. With this in mind, some strategies include trying to keep your sparrow as long as possible and trying to keep it from despawning once you jump off. Some ghosts in the game have a perk called Speed Demon. This perk allows you to instantly summon your sparrow, which can be very useful. Sparrows have multiple cool speedrun techs. Sparrow Boosting. When riding a sparrow, you generally want to be holding down your boost for the extra speed, but if you come across a ledge or a ramp of any sort, you can quickly release the boost and start a new one just as you're about to go off the edge. This will give you a bit of extra speed and is very easy to pull off. Something worth mentioning about sparrows that I don't think everyone knows about is that if you perform a trick mid-air and land it, you will get a small amount of boost back. Tricks are performed by either holding shift to spin around or simply emoting while in the air. This can be used for extra boost to perform more sparrow boosting. Sparrow Flying. Sparrow Flying is a very complicated tech that was very popular in Destiny 1. It's not as commonly used in Destiny 2, but there are some runs where it can be useful. To Sparrow Fly, you will have to rotate your sparrow and side boost accordingly. I personally don't know how to do it, so I can't explain it better than this. Sparrow Launching. Sparrow launching is done by boosting off of a ledge, rotating the sparrow 90 degrees, jumping off, and side boosting. This tech can be very complicated to learn at first, but once you get the hang of it, it can be extremely useful in reaching at very high speeds. Currently, there is one sparrow that sticks out from the rest. It is this sparrow called Always on Time, which drops from the bonus chest in the Scourge of the Past raid. This sparrow has more boost than any other sparrow in the game, which makes it extremely viable for speedruns. Top Tree Dawnblade is the most efficient subclass to use for speedruns currently. The ability Winged Sun, paired with the melee ability Celestial Fire, has great potential with Sunbracers. Celestial Fire makes it very easy to proc Sunbracers, and Winged Sun allows you to get your melee energy back by getting airborne kills. Heat Rises lets you consume your grenade to extend glide time while in the air. This can be used on slanted walls to climb them and reach big heights, and is also useful to cross big gaps. The main reason why Top Tree Dawnblade is so good for speedrunning is Icarus Dash. Icarus Dash is extremely good at generating momentum and is generally just a really good movement option. Well of Radiance is mainly used for the healing grenade ability and for the super ability. Holding your healing grenade lets you float in the air for a bit. This can be used to reach higher altitudes and to cross big gaps. It can also be paired up with other things such as elevators or enemy phalanxes to reach extremely high speeds or heights. Well of Radiance can also be used for increased DPS or to help stay alive thanks to the great healing it provides. Bottom Tree Dawnblade is mainly used because of the ability called Phoenix Dive. Phoenix Dive lets you quickly descend from the air, which can be used for long and slow drops. Exclusive to the Void subclass is the Blink ability. Blink lets you teleport a short distance by pressing the jump key while midair. Blink is considered to be faster than Burst Glide while on a flat surface, but is harder to manage, and is only available on the Void subclass, therefore it's not that commonly used. Top Tree Nova Bomb is most commonly used because of its super ability and the fact that you can overcharge grenades for maximum efficiency. The super can deal a big chunk of damage and is also very good at clearing ads. Nova Warp is mainly used as a movement tool. While in your super, you can teleport a short distance by pressing your sprint key. Paired with Blink, this can be used as a great movement tool. Bottom Tree Nova Bomb is mainly used because of the Devour ability. Devour lets you consume your grenade to regenerate your health. This starts a 10-second timer. Getting a kill while this timer is up will regenerate health and reset the timer back to 10 seconds. This is great to use in big open rooms where staying alive is hard. The Warlock's Arc subclass is not used very often in speedruns. The few times it is used, it's mostly used for the mid-tree super Chaos Reach. There are currently 28 different exotic armor pieces for Warlock. I'm gonna name 10 of them that can find a use in speedrunning. Skull of Dire Ahamkara grants super energy on Nova Bomb kills. This is mostly used in speedruns where you want to use Nova Bomb for ad clearing. Nesarek Sin increases ability energy recharge rate on void damage kills. This is great to pair with a void energy weapon to get your super ability faster. Astrocyte Verse is a movement exotic that lets you blink further and more frequently. This can easily be replaced with Transversal Steps. Sunbracers is an exotic armor piece that lets you have unlimited solar grenade energy for a brief time when you get a solar melee kill. This exotic is extremely well to pair with Top Tree Dawnblade. Ophidian Aspect comes with a lot of benefits. It readies your weapons faster, it reloads your weapons faster, and it increases your melee range. This is mostly used for the reload benefit. Starfire Protocol gives you an additional fusion grenade. This is great for missions where you need to use heat rising a lot, for an example. Wings of Sacred Dawn gives you the ability to float mid-air while aiming down the sight for a brief time. This can help when trying to cross big gaps. Phoenix Protocol gives you super energy back from getting kills and assists inside the Well of Radiance. This is mostly used in multiplayer speedruns for ad clear to get your super back faster. Transversal Steps is the gem of Destiny 2 speedrunning. It increases sprint speed and reloads your weapons automatically when sprinting. This exotic is really good because of the increased sprint speed and because you can reload weapons while on the go. Lunafaction Boots increases reload speed while standing in rifts or Well of Radiance. It also makes Empowering Rifts increase range for your weapons. This exotic is mainly used for the reload benefit. There are currently 66 different exotic weapons in the game. I'm gonna name 9 of them that are specifically good for speedrunning. Mida Multi-Tool increases your basic movement speed. This weapon is not very good at dealing with enemies, but is mainly used because of its movement properties. One thing to keep in mind is that Mida Multi-Tool's increased movement speed does not stack with Transversive's increased movement speed, so there's no point in running Mida Multi-Tool with Transversal Steps. Transversal Steps with a lightweight frame weapon has the exact same movement speed as Mida Multi-Tool. Izanagi's Burden is a really powerful sniper that can deal a big chunk of damage in just one shot. The weapon normally holds 4 bullets in the magazine, but if you hold R, you can combine these 4 bullets into one that deals extra damage. This weapon has been really good for speedrunning for a while now, but recently got hit with a 20% damage nerf, which makes it less viable. Bad Juju is an exotic pulse rifle that grants super energy on kills. This weapon is not very common in speedruns, but has its moments, so I feel like it's worth mentioning. The Fourth Horseman is a newly introduced fan favorite from Destiny 1. It is a shotgun that fires in full auto and can provide a pretty big chunk of damage in a quick succession. Tractor Cannon is a very unique weapon. You can boop enemies, you can suppress enemies, and you can provide a debuff to enemies. This weapon is very good for ad clear in certain scenarios, but is mainly used for the weakening ability. The Warcliffe Coil is an exotic rocket launcher that fires a volley of rockets. This weapon can be a good option for boss damage and for clearing ads. Warline Zero is an exotic sword that for a long time has been the foundation for Destiny 2 speedrunning because of a glitch with the Tesseract ability. This glitch allowed you to easily generate a lot of speed, but was recently nerfed after about 2 years in the game. This change made a lot of speedrunners upset, and some even quit the game because it was not fun anymore. I still use the sword from time to time because of the great movement that the Tesseract ability provides. I feel like the weapon is also pretty good at dealing damage to certain bosses. Thunderlord is probably one of the best ad clearing weapons in the game right now. Kills with the weapon generate lightning strikes from above. This weapon is so good that all you need is a few bullets to clear out a massive group of ads. Anarchy is a really interesting weapon that drops from the final chest in Scourge of the Past. This weapon is great for both DPS and for clearing ads. The best feature of this weapon is the fact that you can shoot it at an ad spawn and then run away. The mines last about 30 seconds while not active, and about 10 seconds while active. This means that you can clear ads and do something else at the same time. Sticky nades. While not being an exotic weapon, I still feel like sticky nades are worth mentioning. Sticky nades are most commonly used on the primary grenade launcher Mountaintop. If you know where enemies are about to spawn, you can shoot a sticky nade at that spot to instantly kill the enemies as they spawn. So what is there to speedrun in this game? Adventures. Adventures can be ran with 1 to 3 players. There are normal adventures and there are heroic adventures, and they are currently in the same category. There are some differences between the two, so it's often smarter to run the normal versions. The heroic versions are available during the weekly flashpoint. Normal adventures can be played only once per character, so it is recommended to either not complete the adventure until you feel like you have a good run, or to make a new character if you want to run the adventure again. Missions. Missions or individual levels are my personal favorite. They can be ran with 1 to 3 players. You can either run missions through the campaign or through the daily heroic mission playlist. There are 5 heroic missions in the playlist that resets every day. Heroic missions also have a set rotation of modifiers to them that comes in the following order: Iron and Heavyweight, Blackout and Grenadier, Grounded and Brawler. These modifiers rotate daily with the missions. Because of this, a lot of missions are recommended to run when Heavyweight is up, since it can increase the speed of ad clear or DPS with a heavy weapon. There are also elemental singes that rotate weekly. Singes rotate from Arc to Solar to Void. Strikes or Nightfalls. Strikes or Nightfalls can be ran with 1 to 3 players. There can be slight differences between regular strikes and the Nightfall versions. These differences can be enemy spawns, boss health, or even how long it takes for the strike to finish after killing the boss. Strikes and Nightfalls are currently in the same category on speedrun.com, so it is recommended to see what version is faster and run that version. Map versions of strikes have matchmaking enabled, which makes it very hard to run them solo. You can easily get around this issue by using a solo script, but Bungie isn't 100% supportive of this, so I would use it at my own risk. Dungeons. Dungeons can be ran with 1 to 3 players. Dungeons are pretty much a smaller and easier raid, and can be very hard to learn at first, but are very fun to run once you get the hang of it. Raids. Raids can be ran with 6 people, and are often considered to be very hard to run. There are a lot of things that go into running a raid, and on top of that, you're 6 people that all have to perform well. Most people in the community would say that holding a world record for a raid is the biggest achievement in Destiny 2 speedrunning. Full game. There are currently 5 different campaigns in Destiny 2 and they can be ran with 1 to 3 players. Full game has 6 different categories. Any %, which is the Red War campaign, Curse of Osiris, Warmind, Forsaken, Shadowkeep, or all campaigns. Any % and all campaigns can be done either on a completely new character or an already geared up one. The other individual campaigns can only be ran on an already geared character. If you're interested in starting to speedrun Destiny 2, I would recommend joining the Speedrun Panel Discord. Speedrun Panel is the official Discord for Destiny 2 speedrunning. If you have any concerns or questions about anything speedrun related, Speedrun Panel is the place to find the answers. For Destiny 2, we use speedrun.com as our leaderboards. The game is split into 2 different games on the site, Destiny 2 and Destiny 2 Story. Under Destiny 2, you will find raids, strikes, and dungeons. And under Destiny 2 Story, you will find adventures, missions, and full game. I've spent way too many hours making this video, so I really hope that I covered everything worth covering. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section or in Speedrun Panel, and I will try my very best to answer them. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like on it. If you want to see more speedrun related content, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel or head over to my Twitch page where I like to livestream Destiny 2 speedruns. You can also follow me on Twitter for other updates. I will list important links such as speedrun.com and Speedrun Panel in the description of this video, so make sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video.